विष्णुपाद परमहंसकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर रचित श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शीला प्रभुपाद की, इस्कॉन फंड आचार्य शीला प्रभुपाद की, नाम आचार्य शीला हरिदास ठाकुर की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So, welcome to the morning Bhagavatam class. Today we are reciting the words from Canto 4, Chapter 3 and the text number 22. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, verse number, Canto 4, Chapter 3, text 22. Pratyudgama prasayana bivadanam vidiyate sadhumita sumadhyame prajñai parasmai purusaya chetasa guha sayayaiva nadeha manine pratyudgama prasraya nabivadanam vidiyate sadhumita sumadhyame prajña parasmai purushasya chetasa guha sayasyaiva nadeha manine pratyudgama prasayana bivadanam vidiyate sadhumita sumadhyame prajñai parasmai purushaya chetasa guha sayayaiva nadeha manine. Prabhuji. Pratyudgama prasrayana bivadanam vidiyate sadhumita sumadhyame prajñai parasmai purushaya chetasa guha sayayaiva nadeha manine. Pratyudgama prasrayana bivadanam vidiyate sadhumita samadhyame prajñai parasmai purushaya chetasa guha sayayaiva nadeha manine. Pratyudgama prasrayana bivadanam vidiyate sadhumita sumadhyame prajñai parasmai purushaya chetasa guha sayayaiva nadeha manine. Mataji. Pratyudgama parasrayana bivadanam विधीयते साधुमिता सुमध्यमे प्रज्ञाय परस्मै पुरुषाय चेतसा गुहाशयैव न देहमानिने प्रत्युद्गाम प्रसयैव नाभिवदनम् विधीयते साधुमिता सुमध्यमे प्रज्ञाय परस्मै पुरुषाय चेतसा गुहाशयैव न देहमानिने. So word to word meaning. Pratyudgama, standing up from one's seat. Prasayana, welcoming. Abhivadanam, obeisances. Vidiyate, or intended. Sadhu, proper. Mitha, mutually. Sumadhyame, my dear young wife. Prajna, by the wise. Parasmai, unto the Supreme. Purushaya, unto the Super Soul. Chetasa, with the intelligence. Guhasaya, sitting within the body. Eva, certainly. Na, not. Dehamanine, to the person identifying with the body. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Please repeat with me. My dear young wife, certainly friends and relatives offer mutual greetings by standing up, welcoming one another and offering obeisances. But those who are elevated to the transcendental platform, being intelligent, offer such respect to the super soul who is sitting within the body, not to the person who identifies with the body. Purport, please listen. It may be argued that since Daksha was the father-in-law of Lord Shiva, it was certainly the duty of Lord Shiva to offer him respect. In answer to the argument, it is explained here that when a learned person stands up or offers obeisances in welcome, he offers respect to the super soul who is sitting within everyone's heart. It is seen, therefore, among Vaishnavas that even when a disciple offers obeisances to his spiritual master, the spiritual master immediately returns to the obeisances because they are mutually offered not to the body but to the super soul. Therefore, the spiritual master also offers respect to super soul situated in the body of the disciple. The Lord says in Srimad Bhagavatam that offering respect to his devotees is more valuable than offering respect to him. Devotees do not identify with the body, so offering respect to Vaishnava means offering respect to Vishnu. It is stated also that as a matter of etiquette, as soon as one sees a Vaishnava, one must immediately offer him respect, indicating the super soul sitting within. A Vaishnava sees the body as a temple of Vishnu. Since Lord Shiva had already offered respect to the super soul in Krishna conscious, offering respect to Daksha, who identifies with his body, was already performed. There was no need to offer respect to this body, for that is not directed by any Vedic injunction. Let's do Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gujave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamcha Nirupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Sam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitamscha Jai Sri Krishna Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Runda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Welcome once again. So we are continuing the conversation between Lord Shiva and Mother Sati. For those who are not following these previous verses, I'll just briefly revise what all had happened till now. So Daksha was performing a sacrifice, and Lord Shiva was there in that sacrifice. And when Daksha entered the fire sacrifice arena, Lord Shiva did not stand up. So Daksha took this as a offense, and he started cursing, insulting Lord Shiva, and he was also cursing Lord Shiva. In retaliation, Lord Shiva did not do anything, but his followers, Nandi, started cursing the Daksha and the Bhrugumuni, all the other sages as him. So like that, counter cursing happening between these two parties, and finally Lord Shiva left that arena. And after that, once this sacrifice is completed, Daksha started another sacrifice, and then he invited all the demigods and everyone except Lord Shiva. And Mother Sati got to know about this, that they were not invited, and he went to the Lord the Shiva and trying to tell that, okay, we should also go there because all my family members assembled there. I wanted to go and see them, meet them, and using this as an opportunity to see them and meet them. So, but the Lord Shiva, we know that in her heart he was not very happy to go there because of the previous humiliation happened. So the Lord Shiva is trying to convince in the previous chapter verses that, okay, why we are not supposed to attend this fire sacrifice. That is how the Lord Shiva was trying to convince. And in today's verse, it was saying, it is justifying the Lord Shiva's act. Why the standing up to pay the obeisances Daksha is okay, because of Shiva is in an elevated platform. He is not an ordinary person. So that way this verse is providing the reason why it is acceptable for Lord Shiva not standing up and paying the obeisances when Daksha entered that fire sacrifice arena. So in all this chapter, for our takeaway, there are two characteristics we can see. One is Lord Daksha and Lord Shiva. Both are opposite characters, like the qualities they exhibit. Like if you see if you see Daksha, he's puffed up with his material possessions. He wanted to exhibit his material opulence, and he was insulting Lord Shiva with that pride, whatever pride he got because of his family lineage and whatever material possessions, he was insulting Shiva. Right? In general, the insulting getting these kind of activities, like getting the pride and getting the humiliating someone or insulting someone, it is this kind of qualities. It's not difficult to get it in this material world. Is that correct? So everybody can easily get this kind of qualities. Actually, so if I have to insult someone, some person devotee is coming to the temple, it's not a difficult. I don't need to work hard to get this quality, this tendency to humiliate or insult other one. Simply I can find some fault, even though it is not fault, I can start chastise him or do anything. So getting this quality, the insulting and humiliating and showing pride of their material opulence is not it's not a difficult quality to achieve. It's easy to achieve. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita, when the Bhagavad Gita basic thing is, we are not the body, we are the soul. Right? But when a realized person, he will understand and he will practice. But by default nature, when the material person enters into this material world, he thinks oppositely. He thinks that I am the body. Because of the conditioned nature, he thinks that I am the body. And when he thinks that I am the body, he will do all his activities to protect this body. he will go for to any extent. That's where he will develop all the envious nature, hatredness, so many bad qualities he will develop. So what I'm trying to say is, getting these qualities like Daksha is not an easy, not a difficult thing. By default, everybody exhibits this kind of activities in the material world. In contrast, when we see Lord Shiva qualities, like when the Daksha and other people are cursing him, he was silent. There are so much provoking situation was there. He can easily retaliate. But what is Shiva is doing? He was very silent. He was not at all responding back. That is one of the important quality of Vaishnava. And it is not easy to develop such quality. And after leaving the fire sacrifice arena, now after some years, Daksha started another fire sacrifice, and now Mother Sati got to know. Now here Mother Sati was saying to go to let's go and attend the fire sacrifice. See, the family pressure is also there here. Wife is putting pressure on Shiva to go and attend this fire sacrifice. Even in normal circumstances, if a husband and wife are having this argument, there will be a big fight. No, I am not going to come to your father, say, because he insulted me. Like that, he will have huge arguments, fight can happen between. But in this case, our Lord Shiva is calmly pacifying Mother Sati and trying to explain Mother Sati that why we should not go to this fire sacrifice arena. But he is explaining all the reasons with patiently, with cool-minded. Right? Here we can see the qualities of Shiva. And Shiva is topmost Vaishnava. Vaishnava nam yata shambho. So from this what we can learn? The qualities of Vaishnava. The Vaishnava etiquette we can learn from these examples. So that's why today we try to briefly touch on Vaishnava etiquette relating to considering this message we are receiving from all these verses and previous verses. So what is Vaishnava etiquette means? Like whatever a devotee, a Vaishnava act in his day-to-day life, right from morning after waking up until he goes to bed, whatever activities he performs, that comes under Vaishnava etiquette. Actually, he has to perform everything as per the prescribed rules and regulations. And how we develop these qualities? Like, see, we are all conditioned nature, right? So, if you have to progress in bhakti, we have to do sadhana bhakti. So, when we perform all the various sadhana practice, the rules and regulations mentioned as part of our sadhana bhakti, so that will develop our Vaishnava qualities, Vaishnava etiquettes. And this Vaishnava etiquette, we can broadly categorize into two classes. One is Achar and second one is Prachar. Achar means the individual what I have to follow, what I have to perform, what kind of activities I have to perform. And Prachar means how, because as part of our movement, we need to preach everyone. So we'll be discussing interact with many people. So we need to also understand how to behave with other devotees, other congregation members. So both these comes under Vaishnava etiquette, Achar, Prachar. So Achar means like how you dress up, how to eat, how to speak, and how many times you have to take bath, and when what circumstances you have to take bath. All these coming under Achar, the individual activities which you have to perform under this Vaishnava etiquette. And the Prachar means how you respond. And why we have to learn these etiquettes? Like there are many advantages. So when we follow this Vaishnava etiquette, it will develop, it will purify our consciousness, and when we will be with that, that helps us to progress in Krishna consciousness. If we learn to follow Vaishnava etiquette, we avoid committing mistakes. Like if you see the basic blockage in our devotional service is committing offenses to Vaishnava. Right? When we properly follow Vaishnava etiquette, when we develop that Vaishnava etiquette, we avoid committing mistakes. When we avoid committing mistakes, when we should be able to progress in the bhakti without any disturbance. So the Vaishnava etiquette is having the consequences, the impact, subsequent impact on meditation. So when we follow Vaishnava etiquette, it improves our consciousness. When it improves our consciousness, then it helps us to avoid committing mistakes. We know we follow rules and regulations. We don't do whimsically any activity. We follow as per the spiritual master instruction or regulatory rules and regulations mentioned in the scriptures. When we do that, we avoid committing mistakes. So that way we will be able to progress in our bhakti. And as part of etiquette, we need to wear our etiquette is like dress up also. Dress up in the sense not only just wearing the dhoti, kurta, everything, all our appearance, that is also, it comes under Vaishnava etiquette. So if I, for example, if I am trying to do come to temple and doing the chanting, if I come with a dhoti, kurta, tilak, that, and if I see other devotees having the same, then it creates a positive environment where we can do the chanting and the bhakti sincerely. But if you come in like jeans and other different dresses and without any tilak or anything, if you come, you may be doing, but it will not be that, you will not be get that much motivation or enthusiasm when you do chanting. So this will have an impact. So this will, the etiquette, following the Vaishnava etiquette with the proper dressing, it helps us to do the bhakti sincere properly. So it also provides like a protocol how a devotee should behave under each and different circumstances. And in the Bhagavad Gita 6th chapter, 24th purport and 24th verse, in the purport Prabhupada was mentioning, right? So what he was mentioning in the purport, one of the basic quality, the ingredient of the Vaishnava etiquette is doing all the activities in mode of goodness. That is one of the key aspects. We always have to choose the activities, and with the consciousness, the mood should be in our mode of goodness. When that is the basic thing, then only you can progress in your bhakti, then only you can develop your Vaishnava qualities. So having mode of goodness is one of the basic foundation, building block for our bhakti to progress, to develop all the Vaishnava etiquette and Vaishnava qualities. And another advantage of learning, following Vaishnava etiquette is, when we follow Vaishnava etiquette, like how we behave in the temple, how we behave with the devotees, that motivates, that inspires others to follow the same qualities, same etiquette. Others will learn by seeing you. So it's not only benefit for us, it also benefits with whomever we are interacting, with whomever we are connecting. So these are various benefits of following the Vaishnava etiquette. We can see all these qualities in the case of Lord Shiva and Daksha. When we compare, Daksha is not following any of these qualities what we were discussing, right? When other side Shiva, so many provoking situations were there, he was very silent. So that is the true example of Vaishnava behavior, Vaishnava etiquette. And even how we can see that the Vaishnava is following a Vaishnava etiquette, proper rules. So when we see the particular person, what is his consciousness, how he is behaving, how he is mannered in the public, and how he is responding, how he is sensitive to various things, right? By seeing these qualities, we can understand the true Vaishnava, who is true Vaishnava. We can understand his qualities. So Vaishnava quality. If you are proper Vaishnava, if you are following all as part of your sadhana bhakti, you followed all the rules and regulations properly, and you developed all those qualities. And when you developed all those with the years of practice, when you develop all those qualities automatically it will exhibited by you in every situation, every circumstances. So you don't need to artificially develop those things. As part of your practice, you will develop those activities on a regular basis when you perform. So that shows that how the Vaishnava look like. So how he is behaving, how well he mannered, and how sensitive to those things. What is his consciousness? Like if the devotee, he always, when he talks to devotees, he will try to preach Krishna. He will always talk about Krishna. He will not talk any gossiping things or any materialistic things. So he will always talk about Krishna or preaching or Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam verses, Krishna's pastimes. Those things, that way we can see who is devotee and who is like a non-devotee. We can, materialistic person, we can classify. So here also we can see Daksha and Shiva. Daksha was talking all nonsense. He was not bothered to he is offending Vaishnava, great Vaishnava, but he is not realizing that. So that is the example of person who is not practicing the Vaishnava Sadachar. How we can see that. And whereas Shiva, we can see example. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also in various instructions, he mentioned the importance of this Vaishnava etiquette. Like he was also emphasizing on committing Vaishnava offense, that also he condemned, but at the same time he was also emphasizing on Vaishnava, following the Vaishnava behavior, following the Vaishnava etiquette. He stressed in many places. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu giving the instructions to 6 Goswamis in Vrindavan, so there are some instructions, right? Thoroughly scrutinizing studying the scriptures and get the essence of the scriptures. That is one instruction. And then excavate all the holy places in Vrindavan, build temples. Apart from that, he mentioned we have to, by their example, show the conduct of Vaishnava and proper etiquette among Vaishnavas. So he's instructing all the Goswamis to, through your behavior, through your exemplary acts, show how a Vaishnava should behave, how he should respond. Like, so he was emphasizing on that. Not only that, he told them to establish Vaishnava etiquette through their writings as well as through their behavior. So he was also emphasizing to write the scriptures. If you see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after instructions, Sanatana Goswami was writing the Hari Bhakti Vilas. That is mainly dealing with the Vaishnava Achar, Vaishnava etiquette. That is one of the scriptures we have. So these are the instructions which we can, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving through the 6 Goswamis. Through that he is trying to develop Vaishnava etiquette in the community. And another one more, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has written Sikshastakam, right? The various 8 verses. So in that verse, second, like Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarudapi Saishna, Amanina Manadena, Kirtaneya, Sadahari. This is one of the verses in Sikshastakam, which mentions that we have to be tolerant like a tree and humble then like a grass. Right? These are all the qualities, the Vaishnava. These are the ornaments of Vaishnava. So when we develop these qualities, we can progress in our bhakti. And yes, so the tolerant and submissive like a grass these are the qualities Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended. But when we see the pastimes of Jagai Madai, what happened? When the Jagai Madai attacked the Nityanand Prabhu, then what happened? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got very angry. So people may think, okay, this is contrary to his preaching. Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? But here again further our acharyas and in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, everywhere our scriptures mentioned that. So for you as an individual, if someone is humiliating, attacking, you should be tolerant. But when it happens to your guru or your senior Vaishnava, you should not tolerate. So that's where it was mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila 7.50. The 3 things you can do. If someone is spiritual master or senior is offended, either you have to counter argument with, if you have a proper knowledge, you have to counter argue with him to defeat. If you don't have that capacity, you have to die. If you are not able to die, then you have to leave that place. So these are all the things as part of our Vaishnava behavior. See, like we can see that when in our Daksha's Lord Shiva's pastimes, as a Vaishnava, Lord Shiva was not counter-attacking. So he was truly exhibiting the Vaishnava quality. But his follower Nandi, he was not able to tolerate his guru, his senior humiliation, right? He counter-attacked. But at the same time, he crossed the boundary. He did not just attack, he counter-attacked Daksha, but he also attacked, cursed all other Vaishnavas. That is where he crossed a little bit above his boundaries, so that is a mistake. But as soon as he saw his guru, Shiva was insulted, then Nandi was started attacking on the Daksha and his followers. Not only that, if you see the Bhagavad Gita chapter 12, there are so many qualities which Krishna highlighted in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 12. Like there are certain things. A pure devotee is never disturbed in any circumstances, nor he is envious of anyone, nor does a devotee become enemy's enemy. So the qualities of a pure Vaishnava is, devotee is never disturbed in any circumstances. That's why it is also mentioned, Matra Sparshastha Kaunteya Sitoshna Sukadakada Agamo Payano Nityo Tam Stitikshasva Bharata. The sober person is always, he tolerate everything, whatever difficulties come, like he will take it as a heat and cold seasons, right? That way, he will take all the difficulties in his life as the heat and cold, it will come and go. So he is not disturbed by those things, and he is always there to tolerate. He always tolerates those difficulties. And if the person is acting as an enemy, then what he thinks? If suppose someone is exhibiting inimical attitude towards you, then he thinks that, okay, due to past misdeeds, I am getting these kind of reactions. That person is acting as my enemy. So he does not directly blame that person, rather he thinks that because of my past deeds, I am getting this kind of reaction from that other person. And not only that, whenever a devotee is distressed or fallen into difficulty, he thinks that Lord is so merciful. I supposed to get more bigger problem, but Lord compensated with a small difficulty. So that is how the devotee will think in the as part of that pure devotee, as true Vaishnava, exhibit these qualities. A devotee is always kind to everyone, and he does not give much importance to bodily concepts, because he knows that we are not the body, we are the soul. So he will all the bodily difficulties, bodily comforts, he will not give much importance. And he is always fixed in receiving the instructions from his spiritual master. So he takes them seriously. So when we exhibit devotees these qualities, Krishna says, he is dear to me. Krishna is, when like all these qualities, whatever discussed, right? When he thinks that he is not disturbed in any circumstances, and he is, now if suppose a person is inimical, he thinks that it is my past misdeeds, and if all the difficulties are coming, it's because of my past karma I am getting. Lord is so merciful, he is not giving any bigger punishment, but rather he is giving small punishments, and he follows the spiritual master instructions, and he does not attach to the bodily. When he exhibit all these qualities, Krishna is saying in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that he is dear to me. So Krishna likes the devotees who are exhibiting these qualities. And as I mentioned, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was emphasizing more on this Vaishnava etiquette. That's why in the Trunadapi Sunichena verse we know it is, we all understand how humbleness we should have, and we also saw the instructions given to 6 Goswamis. Not only that, in Varanasi, when he met Sanatan Goswami, he asked him to write the Vaishnava etiquette. But Sanatan Goswami was very humble. He said, Lord, don't have any qualification to write all this, and he was associated with a Muslim king, right? So nobody will accept. Then he started giving the basic instructions. Initially, for 1 month, he told all the instructions to Sanatan Goswami. Based on that, the subsequent scriptures were written. So during that discussion, Sanatan Goswami, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was telling, the true characteristic of a Vaishnava is that he will exhibit all the time the Vaishnava etiquette. It is the ornament of a devotee. By seeing these qualities, it's like an ornament. Like why we get ornament? We use ornament to make our body beautiful, handsome, right? Similarly, that is a physical ornaments, gold or anything we use to make ourselves beautiful, look beautiful. But for Vaishnava, how his beauty or handsome will increase? When you exhibit this Vaishnava etiquette, that will increase your beautiness or the handsomeness. It will increase when you follow the Vaishnava etiquette. That is what the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is the ornament to a Vaishnava, not any gold or any silver things. This Vaishnava etiquette is the key ornament to Vaishnava. And one more thing, suppose if a rich person is there, he will be wearing so many rich items. Like how he shows richness? By wearing very costly items, right? So he will do, the more costly items he is wearing means the more richer he is. Similarly, the more Vaishnava etiquettes you are exhibiting, that way you are more strong in, you are more superior Vaishnava, the more senior Vaishnava. So the more qualities you exhibit, that level your Vaishnava qualities, that way you are more elevated Vaishnava, the more higher Vaishnava, we can say. So the depth of the Vaishnava is judged by the symptoms he is exhibiting. That is how we can understand how deep he is Vaishnava. And one more thing is, we need to be fearful in committing mistakes. That is one of the quality of Vaishnava. Always thinks that he should avoid committing mistakes. When he commits mistake, we all know it will impact the bhakti. So that's why we are always to be mindful of committing offenses. So we should avoid committing offenses. And ultimately, the goal should be of the Vaishnava. By following this Vaishnava etiquette, what would be the ultimate goal? The always remembering Krishna, never forget Krishna. With that mode, he has to follow this etiquette, Vaishnava etiquette. And how can we develop these qualities, Vaishnava etiquette? Srila Rupa Goswami explaining that. So first one is, we have to be enthusiastic. So if you have to develop how we develop the etiquette? By practicing certain rules and regulations. But rules and regulations always, when you see, it will be very difficult to follow. Even in the neophyte stage, we have to, suppose if you have to perform Nirjala Ekadashi, on the day one, first time when you start, you feel so difficult, right? So you think that, okay, it's a very difficult task. But what is required in order to develop these Vaishnava qualities? We have to be enthusiastic. Then how we can develop enthusiastic? For example, you can take, suppose if you are an athlete, you want to aim some medals in Olympic. What you have to do? You have to work very hard. You have to develop all the rigorous training. You have to improve your fitness. So many things you have to consider, and you have to work hard. But what is the motivating factor to work hard? Right? The goal. The goal is that, okay, I want to achieve medal in Olympics. Similarly, the Vaishnava, then when he has that goal is clear for the athlete, then with all the difficulties, whatever actions are difficult, but he will have enthusiasm to perform those activities. Same way in our bhakti, when we are clear in our goal, we have to remember Krishna, we have to be a nice devotee. Our aim is to go back to Godhead. So this can happen only when we become a true Vaishnava, right? When we understand these qualities, when we develop all this thinking, when we contemplate on all these things, then we can start, then our goal is clear. So when we have our goal, whatever difficulties we have, definitely we will not bother about those difficulties, but we will do enthusiastically, we will do all our activities. So the having clear goal in our mind helps us to develop the enthusiasm. Like we have a verse, right? Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasovarjam rasopyasa param dushta nivartate, right? The verse, it says, when you have a higher taste, you will lose focus on low level things, right? Same way, when your goal is high, when your goal is clear on higher things, you will have enthusiasm to perform all the relevant tasks to achieve that goal. That is how you can develop the enthusiasm. So be clear in your goal. And yeah, when you are to keep the goal always clear, like maybe, so today I have a clear goal, and after 1 week I may lose the determination or focus, but when you keep reading the scriptures, when you associate with the devotees, by seeing, like in the beginning we discussed the Vaishnava etiquette, by seeing others, we motivate to follow, right? So the more we associate with the devotees, senior devotees, by seeing how they are practicing their devotion, right? By seeing them, we get motivation, and then our determination, our enthusiasm will sustain long way. And other endeavor with confidence, right? We have to, when we have the goal, when we have the enthusiasm, we have to perform various activities. When we perform activities, we have to put the endeavor, and we should have confidence, right? When I work hard, like the example I'll take, if you are working to get the gold medal in Olympics, you know what all the steps you have to take, and the work you will be doing, you know that if I do all these activities, definitely I will have a good result in the Olympics. That similarly, by seeing all other Vaishnavas, how they are progressing, when we have, by interacting with the Vaishnavas, we can also, we will have our clear thinking that, okay, if I perform these devotional activities, definitely I will grow in my devotion. So that is where endeavor with confidence. You perform all the activities with the confidence, knowing that you will achieve your goal as a true Vaishnava. And sometimes you may be ending up failures. Multiple failures will come in your life, in your process, but you have to have a patience to overcome those difficulties and progress. And we have to act according to regulative principles. Don't follow shortcuts to achieve the goal, right? When you have a clear in goal, don't try to follow any shortcuts. Always follow scriptural, your spiritual master instructions properly. Take the instructions properly from the scriptures, and then follow. No, don't find any shortcuts. No, with any kind of shortcuts, you will not achieve success in your life, whether it is material or in spiritual also. You have to strictly follow the rules and regulations prescribed, then only you will progress. And what all the things which we shouldn't do. So when we develop these activities, when we are trying to follow the devotion with the sadhana bhakti and with the rules and regulations and trying to develop all the Vaishnava etiquette, the behavior, what are all the things we should not do much. So that also he explained. Eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required. That is also, we should not be over greedy on many things. Whatever is required, we should. And over endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. Taking unnecessary about mundane subject matter, talking unnecessary about all material things, and practicing the scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of following them, not for the sake of spiritual advancement. This we should avoid, right? Just you are following the spiritual injunctions, but if someone is telling, you are following, but not with the proper right mindset, or you don't have any enthusiasm or determination. Not for the sake of doing, but rather with a proper determination and clear goal, we should practice. Associating with the worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. So these are the various things it was mentioned, don'ts. So when we follow these important things, active prescribed mentioned by our acharyas, definitely we will progress in our bhakti. So these are all the various aspects which I wanted to talk on in relation to Vaishnava etiquette. These are all examples from the Daksha and Shiva. We can derive this, particularly from Shiva's example, Lord Shiva's example, we can see how he is following this Vaishnava etiquette. So I think I will conclude, stop here. Any comments, any questions? Yes, Prabhu. Lord says that Srimad Bhagavatam, that offering respect to his devotees is more valuable than offering respect to him. We can take the Ambarish Maharaj pastime, Prabhu, where Durvasa Muni, right? So Durvasa Muni, Supreme Lord released Sudarshan Chakra to protect Ambarish Maharaj, and then Durvasa Muni traveled everywhere. He went to Vishnu as well. Then Vishnu told, no, I will not be able to protect you. You go and seek forgiveness from Ambarish Maharaj. Then when he came to Ambarish Maharaj, then only, that is one example we can see. Sorry, Prabhu, I didn't get your question. The etiquette is it, because that's what, if you see the purport, even spiritual master also, when you say Hare Krishna, your spiritual master also reciprocates with the Hare Krishna, right? So that means he is seeing that as when we have to see how our senior devotees are behaving, and we have to follow them, right? If they are the spiritual master, as per the purport saying that if you pay obeisances to spiritual master, he will reciprocate, right? So the same way we have to do, that is our etiquette. As per this discussion, we have to. Yeah, that same thing happened in case of Vaishnava, Daksha and Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva's position is very high. He was already, that's what in the last lines of the purport, it was mentioned. She was already paying obeisances to Super Soul, the Supreme Lord, because he's all deeply meditating on Supreme Lord. He's already paying obeisances to Supreme Lord. So that way, he's already taking care of the Dakshas as well. But that is what, because of his position, Supreme Lord, the Lord Shiva is very highly elevated devotee, that works. But in our case, we should not think that we are great devotees, that's why I should do it. Then that is not a humility, there is no humility, there is no humbleness. If these qualities are not there, then you are not a devotee, great devotee, right? That's the conclusion we can see. Okay. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrunda ki jai.